Happy Independence Day, America. Or at least that's what we should have been saying all day long. Well, it pains me to say that many people in this country have not been celebrating this this country and well, have not been celebrating 4th of July. Serious things have happened in this country in the past couple of weeks. You have the Supreme Court designating the right to abortion to states to decide. And then more recently, you've got another police shooting in one of my home cities of Akron, Ohio. Issues are very upsetting. Yes, they are very hard hitting subjects, and they are not meant to be taken lightly. There are a few things that have me flustered, annoyed with this mindset that many people have in this country. Right now in this country, many people believe that if this person has some extremist viewpoints, now they will forever be this extremist for the rest of eternity. And if a group of extremists have this mindset, then the country is completely destroyed, and there can be absolutely no unity and no peace. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share two stories with you guys. I may not have heard them. If you have, okay, that's fine. If you have not, I'd encourage you to please continue watching this video. First story is the story of the first Thanksgiving. Now, we all know the story of the Pilgrims coming over to the or coming over to the New World and having a Thanksgiving dinner with the Native Americans, and we call that the first Thanksgiving. Well, that's not actually the first Thanksgiving. That's not actually the first Thanksgiving that we celebrated. At least it's not the first of this modern tradition. Our modern Thanksgiving actually it comes from the American Civil War. After the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln, American writer and activist Sarah Joseph Hale, decided that after such a gruesome battle in such a war-torn time, literally war-torn time, that this nation needed one day of healing. And that day happened to be the fourth fourth Thursday on that November in 1863. And that is the true story of how Thanksgiving was born. And yes, there was actually no fighting between the Union states and the Confederate states on that day. But if a war-torn country in the middle of the bloodiest war in their history can have one day of peace and healing where both sides just laid down their arms, there's absolutely no reason we cannot do that today. The story that I'm going to tell you guys is the story of a man named Daryl Davis. So, Daryl Davis is a man. He's a musician. As a matter of fact, he is a black musician. And his most famous work actually does not have anything to do with music at all. Rather, his most famous work is how he converted more than 236 members of the Ku Klux Klan and convinced them to hang up their robes. Now, for those of you who have not heard Davis's story before, I'm going to give you just a very brief synopsis or a very brief viewpoint or look at his story. I'm gonna link some more of his TED Talks and his Joe Rogan episode and some episodes that he did with Joe Rogan down below, so for those of you who want to dive in deeper. Like I just said, Daryl Davis is a black man who has convinced more than 236 members of the Ku Klux Klan to hang up their robes single-handedly. He wasn't protesting, and he wasn't marching and screaming at people, and he wasn't uh, he wasn't saying that these people need to just recognize their viewpoints and immediately turn it on them. That's just not likely to happen. And Davis acknowledged this. So his story begins when he was 10 years old. He was marching in a Scouts parade, and at one and he was designated to carry the American flag and lead the group. Now, at one point in the parade, he started getting hit by a bunch of debris, and his initial thoughts were these people didn't like the Scouts. But he didn't realize that he was the only Scout who was getting hit. He didn't realize he was being singled out until his den mother had to shield him and escort him out of the danger. And as soon as he got home, he went to and his parents were bandaging him up, and they asked how he fell down because they weren't there that day. And when Davis explained to them what was happening, he or his parents for the first time in his life told him about racism. From that point forward, Davis has been asking himself, or from that point forward, Davis started asking himself, how can you hate me when you don't even know me? And and so from that point forward, Davis started reading up on various hate groups, the Nazis, the KKK. And so what he wanted to do is he wanted to get to the bottom of these people's hatred. So what he did was he had got in contact with one of the national leaders of the KKK, and he wanted to sit down and have a conversation with them. Now, when he told his secretary to schedule this interview, because this interview was for a book that Davis was writing about the KKK, Davis Davis deliberately told his secretary to not tell Roger Kelly, the man that he was interviewing, the leader of the KKK, that Davis is black. Early, early on, when Davis wanted, or when he first heard of this Roger Kelly guy, he was told not to do this interview because Roger Kelly will kill him. So Davis went on with the interview instead, or he went on with the interview as he had planned. So Davis does the interview with Roger Kelly, and thankfully no one was killed as a result of that interview. Not too long after that, not too long after the interview, since Davis was still writing that book on the KKK, he was invited to the next Klan rally, and so he can learn more about the KKK. Well, after years of interacting with Roger Kelly, Davis finally got Roger Kelly to hang up his robes. This by slowly but surely showing Roger Kelly that minorities are not these 2D character or caricatures that that Roger Kelly believes that they were. It's just a very brief summary of Daryl Davis's story. As I said, I'm going to link more on Davis down in the description. I highly encourage you all to go watch at least one of those videos. I'm sure that you can all learn something from Davis. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share this video, share all my videos. I don't know if I'm gonna do another Amber Heard video or not. Might have to. See you all next time, and happy 4th of July, America. Bye.